Snitching on nobody from Harlem, man. I give you a couple cats down in DC doing their thing, out of town doing their thing, but I'm not snitching on nobody in Harlem, cause when I come home, I'm still gonna be the king.
Daniel Hernandez, aka Tekashi 6ix9ine, born May 8th, 1996.
Yes. And one more question. I'm the only one that got charged with narcotics?
Yes. All right, as to your bond.
What makes a rat? A person that involves himself with a group they don't need to be friends, then participates willingly in illegal activity, plural or singular, gets caught for said activity, rejects the consequences of getting caught in favor of giving up his group for a lighter sentence or even the chance to go free. It's simple as that. It doesn't matter who was disloyal first or what was done to you personally. You willingly participated in a game that has unfair rules, ones you can bend and others you can't, or you'll have to live with what they refer to you as for the rest of your life. Is Tekashi 6ix9ine a rat? Yes, he is. Does he care? No, he doesn't. Should you care? Outside of the families and friends affected, no, you shouldn't. But I'm glad we had the chance to get that out, because this story is not about whether today's feature is or isn't a snitch, more than it's about the fact this kid from 2017 looking forward had the chance to be one of the biggest stars in hip-hop history, and now is as far as can get from that. Hard to fathom? Well, whenever history is rewritten, it's always hard to believe you're seeing it happen. It's also hard to let go of the artist you grew fond of that did it before. It's why no one can ever be better than Jordan if you were born before 1990. It's why LeBron James can do no wrong if you were born after. Records were made to be broken and history made to be rewritten, not to change the history before, but to add on. If I told you in America there's an American kid with an Hispanic background, so able to speak both languages and appeal to two of the biggest fan bases in entertainment, charismatic so was able to infiltrate an entire gangsta operation which happens to be black, they provide him with the image and credibility he needs to take his music to a white label who are able to disperse it to those three markets equally. How can that artist lose? They can't and they won't. Not in today's music. If you're able to be sold, music is the last thing that matters. 6ix9ine was able to be sold. Because of that, the money was put in place, the image was done correctly for the times, and the music was spread to the top 3 markets in the world, and Tekashi 6ix9ine became a star. His debut mainstream song Gummo went platinum in 4 months, and in 1 year he had 6 straight songs make the Billboard Top 100. How does one blow all that musical fortune? Let's talk about it. 3 reasons Tekashi 6ix9ine's growth was stunted. It's your boy JC, Stunted Growth Music. Let's get it, man. Daniel Hernandez, or 6ix9ine as he'd like to be called now, is from Brooklyn, New York, born to a Mexican mother and Puerto Rican father. A church-going kid that stood out in many areas, none more than his use of his gift of gab. Yep, surprise, 6ix9ine has always been a talker. And so he usually represented his class in speech or asked to read scripture on Sundays because no one his age could deliver it like him. School was never very important to 6ix9ine. Losing both his biological father to addiction and eventually prison, and his stepfather after he was shot dead, 6ix9ine dropped out of school at 13 to help provide for himself and his mother. It was at a place he worked and met the owner of a record label that approached him about being a rapper. It's there Daniel Hernandez became 6ix9ine. His love for anime and a number that best explained his yin and yang personality led him to the name. Then his rainbow-haired, fully tatted image made him perfect for the new troll era, where things that were so bad were must-see TV. Insert videos of 4-5, Kanye rants, and 6ix9ine.
Let's find out if they're friend or foe, and if they're foe, let's take care of that son of a...
Or why don't you empower yourself and don't need them and do it yourself?
How, Sway? You ain't got the answers, man. You ain't got the answers, Sway.
You niggas is trash, bro. Making all this trash ass fucking music, bro. Saturating the fucking game, bro. Get the fuck out of my way, bro.
Stunt number 1, becoming his ego. In rap music, you're supposed to create a character. Even if it's the real you, you still have to add on in order to show you have a life worth investing in. Most times, it's not real, but you've become so good at building this character that it doesn't matter because it works. But some entertainers become their character and it can become the gift that's cursed. Like method actors Christian Bale, who almost lost the ability to regain his health for the movie The Machinist, or Heath Ledger losing sleep and his mind filming the Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and The Dark Knight at the same time. He ultimately died from a drug overdose. In hip-hop, we've seen a lot of rappers become their ego and not only gain success but kept their life, mainly because they knew how to turn it off. It's the reason Soulja Boy is so popular. He's always known what the kids wanted to see from rappers, and with his charisma, uses it just enough to light and relight his flame time and time again. But he knows how to turn his off. Kanye knew as well. Now he's gotten to a point he doesn't have to. 6ix9ine had the same Soulja Boy effect and could gain attention in any room at the entrance with his charisma and likability. But unlike Soulja Boy and Kanye West, he never knew he wasn't big enough yet to not have to turn his off. Same with DaBaby. Instead of apologizing and controlling the situation, his ego told him he was the influence and he controlled what moved. No sir. Now you're seeing his ego being silenced for the foreseeable future. While 6ix9ine was building his image, he was building his ego as well. It almost cost him during a party where he allegedly performed inappropriate acts with a female he thought was 19, but 13 in reality. He caught a charge, slapped on the wrist, and his ego grew. After Gummo dropped in 2017, peaked at 12 on Billboard, and went platinum in 4 months, 6ix9ine was on top of the world. His ego grew and fused with his imagination when his crew started to gain notoriety for carrying out violent acts in the streets without retaliation or trouble with the law. The final ingredient was that this lawless image was being believed on the internet, which led to money being made off his name. The ego led him to thinking he was a real gang leader who even called a hit on live video and could have popular venues shot up in broad daylight while he stood and watched. When he was eventually caught and sentenced, his ego told him he was more important than his crew and gave them up for his freedom. Not to be outdone, his ego upon his release made him believe he could be the same 6ix9ine and go against whoever, even the gatekeepers of entertainment, and still win. He did for a short time, and now the game has him right where his ego thought he'd never be, irrelevant, at least for the last 9 months. Stunt number 2, the Fed case. But not just the Fed case itself, because an argument can be made that him catching that case helped him set up a new opportunity to write a new chapter and a bigger platform to do it on. Before going to prison, 6ix9ine was the internet. Every song he dropped charted, and his ability to gain attention was on full display. He released a mixtape, Day 69, February 2018, that landed at 4 on Billboard and spawned his 4th and 5th straight top 100 singles in Billy and Rondo. July 2018, he released Fifi, that became his highest charting song to that point and was certified double platinum. 9 days before his debut album released, he and his Treyway gang associates were arrested and Hernandez charged with federal RICO and firearms, including conspiracy to commit murder and armed robbery. February 1st, 2019, he pled guilty to those charges, and by year's end, he was on the stands testifying against his gang, who he felt were disloyal first for kidnapping him, stealing money behind the scenes, and allegedly sleeping with his child's mother. He was sentenced to 2 years instead of life for his cooperation, and with 13 months' time served, he was released April 2020 to home confinement that ended August 1st and left him a free man. But that case was handled wrong by 6ix9ine for a few reasons. Let's speculate and say 6ix9ine didn't take the plea, and luckily with his notoriety and money to hire the best attorneys, was sentenced to a number similar to what Bobby Shmurda eventually got, 5 to 10. He served 6 and comes home without the snitch jacket. 6ix9ine would be the biggest artist right now, period. Something Bobby Shmurda could have been with better music and the charisma 6ix9ine has. Then there's what he did after he snitched and was released. I think it was the best idea for him to come out exactly how he did, still pumping his chest and continuing the character of the troll that can't be touched. No one thought he'd do it, and that made it easier for him to be just that. He's always strived going against the grain. But when he started feuding with Billboard and the streaming services, that's when he made the wrong move. With other rappers and rap fans, you can troll and feud with them, but with the powers that literally enter your numbers, you can't win that battle. He started calling out Billboard for counting bundles as sales for certain artists and streaming services for farming plays for artists and playlisting them to have better numbers. He was right, but instead of calling them out and losing your only leverage in the game, numbers, he should have played the game and did songs with people like Ariana Grande and let the farm work for him. The Fed case put him in position to lose leverage, but his strategy after led him to being blackballed. Stunt number 3, times change. And lastly, what I think is stunning his growth the most is time moving on, and the era of things that made him appealing has passed. Because of his legal issues and feuds that wasted time, he wasn't able to control the shaping of the future in hip-hop like he needed to for his survival. His sound hadn't caught on enough yet to where his music could last and feel needed when numbers started to slip on album 2 that did just 50,000 sales first week. But music was never really his strongest attribute when competing against his magnetic personality and ability to gain and retain attention. Because hip-hop music now changes every 3 or so years, his music and gangsta image are now played out and aren't as effective. All in all, Tekashi 6ix9ine came a long way from poverty to millions, every car he's ever wanted, and the ability to support his family. But he made some poor choices with the opportunities he had, and eventually it came down to music. Unfortunately, his music isn't needed enough to carry him where he should have went as a rapper. With his name stained, burnt industry bridges, and his career on hold for almost a year, who knows if he can reach the top again? We'll see. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth Music, and I'm out.